So hello, beautiful Starlight Tribe, and welcome to Magic Month of June. For those of you that haven't met me before, my name is Karila, and I'm from the Starlight Temple. And Starlight Temple is a company that does all sorts of courses and ceremonies and journeys that are about becoming more empowered and more connected and living more of your light and your truth and your potential. And Magic Month is a energy forecast show that gives you an astrological and energetic overview of what is coming in the month ahead, so that you can use that information to align with the best times to heal, the best times to manifest, basically work with the cosmos and the ascension energies to have the most magical, most aligned, most joyful, amazing month that you can. And Rose, the name is Starlight Temple. Hello to those of you that have made it live. Lovely to see you all. It's really nice to be in circle, energetic circle with you on this very sunny day. It's very sunny in the UK. We have a rare sunny bank holiday. And I'm really, really excited about Magic Month of June. There's so many kind of astrologers being like, there are some months that just change everything. June 2021 is one of those months. It's a really, really exciting and special month in the cosmos. And so, I can't wait to share the forecast with you. So let's begin with a meditation just to bring us into presence, into connection with ourselves and with each other, and also to prepare your energy bodies for anything that the guides might want to do to help you have an even more super amazing magical month. So when you're ready, closing your eyes and feeling the muscles around your eyes relaxing. And just choose to have a full breath. Maybe this is your first full breath of the day. So really choosing to allow your breath to drop into your belly, expanding your belly and your lower, middle and upper rib cage. Bringing all of that energy of life into you and having full out breath. Really noticing how your muscles ease and relax as you have a full out breath. Or maybe even sighing into the beauty that is happening now. As you feel a column of light from the center of the universe, from the great central sun, pouring down into your energy, instantly and consistently raising your vibration. And as this light travels down through you and through all of the different layers of the earth down into the iron core crystal, the heart of Great Mother Gaia, Mother Earth. Feel it bouncing, reflecting off this heart and traveling back up into your energy and up into the heart of our universe. Just give yourself this now, this moment to be suspended between the heart of the cosmos and the heart of life. And maybe set an intention with your next out breath to let go of everything that is not heart. Let go of anything that is noise rather than heart. And notice that as you do this, your heart opens. Maybe bring your attention to the back of your heart chakra, to that space between your shoulder blades. And as you bring your attention there, feel the back of your heart opening, noticing how, as you consciously open the back of your heart, you come into a state of being supported. Noticing how that changes. Your breath, how it changes your muscles. Notice how when you're supported, there is more space. And just choose to focus on the space. The space inside you. The space in your breath. The space where your beingness is. Become aware that all that space, the space in every cell, the space between your thoughts, all of that space is buzzing with life force energy, with your life force energy. Now open the bottom of your heart. Open your heart towards Mother Earth and feel as you do a grounding cord from your belly dropping down through all the different layers of the earth, down into the iron core crystal that at this sacred time is flooded with neutrino light. And just allow yourself to receive some of this light, noticing that this life force energy, this buzz energy, is becoming brighter. All of this space is filling with light. Maybe your body is getting warmer. As you open your heart forwards, and as you do, feel your aura being sealed from top to bottom in white and golden light. so that all that beingness of you is divinely protected. That means that you can lean into the light of this beingness, can lean into the beauty that is happening now. So you open your heart upwards, on the top of your heart, to that great central sun. And as you do, feel flooded with golden sovereign light. Allowing all of the form that is around all of the different spaces, whether it is the form of the breath or the form of the cells, to be illuminated. And just take this now to honor the moment where the inner and the outer light, the golden light and the neutrino light, are shining into each other. Now open your heart in all directions. The direction of the self and the direction of everywhere. And feel your heart coming into the one heart. Feeling your heart beating with the heartbeat of the earth. Beating with the heartbeat of Source. Beating with all hearts on earth and all hearts in spirit. And open your heart to those you are sharing this webinar with, whether you are listening now or in the future. And just feel all of these human hearts, all of this human kindness emanating from all of these human hearts to you. To the parts of you that have maybe become hardened by stress of the day or the time. In the past 18 months in particular. And as you let these hardened parts soften into this human kindness, place a question in your heart, asking, why am I here? Why am I listening to Magic Month? And just see what answer you get. What does your heart whisper back? As you breathe in love and breathe out gratitude, breathe in love Breathe out gratitude, and when you are ready, opening your eyes and coming into the room. And those of you that are regulars to Magic Month will know that I love Magic Month to be co-creative. So please do use the chat box to say what your intention is, why you're here, what you experienced in the meditation, and of course to share your own knowledge of your own astrological and energetic knowledge, and ask questions and everything like that. That felt like a really lovely golden start to a very, very golden month. Oh, beautiful that you saw butterflies. It is a butterfly moment this month. I like that insight, Jade. And so, yeah, June is really special. It's just one of those months that I am so grateful. Magic Month makes me find out what's going on. And I like what you say, Bonnie, it is a month of like, okay, don't give up hope. And you are special, Helen. And connection and opening up more. That's beautiful, Rose. Beautiful. So we're already in one of the most important things that is happening this month, and that is the eclipse, and the eclipse window. So those of you that are regulars to Magic Month will know that I am obsessed with eclipse windows. Eclipse windows are the time between the lunar and the solar eclipse, and we had the lunar eclipse on the 26th of May, and the solar eclipse is coming on the 10th of June. So we're right in the eclipse window at the moment. And the reason that I'm obsessed with eclipse windows is because they have been so important for my own healing journey. My guides started to advise me that healing should happen in the eclipse windows, and Starlight started putting on healing ceremonies or healing courses and things like that. And what was amazing is every time I was doing healing, particularly a type of healing called shadow work, which sounds scary, but it's not. It's working with the deep subconscious. It's working with what you can't see. It was amazing because by the time the next eclipse window had come round, that whatever I'd been working on had really started to show up in the map of my life, or in that if I was working on being more empowered by the next eclipse window, I would be more empowered. And so I was like, these times are magic. I'm going to commit to doing healing every eclipse window and holding space for people to do their shadow work every eclipse window. And so eclipse windows have become a huge part of my path, as has shadow work. It's one of the 4 pillars of Starlight. And, shadow work's really, really important because our deep subconscious has such an impact on, our thoughts, words, actions, and ultimately on the manifested reality that we live in. And so healing our subconscious for me is ascension. It's like we don't do very much consciously that we don't want to do, but we do a lot of stuff we don't want to do unconsciously or because of something going on in our deep subconscious. And so these eclipse windows, they are just such sacred time to do that really, really, really deep inner work. And like I said, Starlight, one of our 4 pillars is shadow work. It's one of our specialist things, and eclipse windows are the time for shadow work. And this eclipse window is just so meaningful. So the guidance that I had about this eclipse window, and for some of you that listen to Magic Month of May, you may hear me repeating some of this, but it's just so important. The guidance that I had about this eclipse window was that it is like the energetic twin flame or the energetic magnetic exit for another eclipse window. And the eclipse window that was the entrance, that was the beginning of a big healing journey that we all collectively went on, was the December 2019 eclipse window. And, you know, December 2019 really brought in a whole new reality for all of us. It brought in, obviously, since then we have lived through lockdowns and all sorts of things I don't think any of us thought we were going to be living through. And that sent all of us, consciously or unconsciously, on a massive healing journey, on a massively important journey. And how I've kind of seen it is it's a bit like a labyrinth. It's like you go in and you come out in the same way. And what my guides have kind of gone on to explain is that the eclipse windows also, and I didn't know this until I started tuning into the eclipse window we're in, but they also, not always, but they can be entrances and exits of seasons of change in our own inner healing journey. And what the December 2019 eclipse window did was bring us into the winter, was bring us into a time where we were living the wisdoms and the medicines of winter. And so there was a lot of death, there was a lot of change, there was a lot of shedding, there was a lot of stillness, there were a lot of themes like immunity. And what this eclipse window is doing is turning that season into a spring. And so we're coming out of that winter season and coming into the medicines and the themes of spring in this eclipse window. And what's so important about this eclipse window is this window is an opportunity to complete the healing journey that you have been on since December 2019. So I'm having loads of like things completing, realizations, reconnections. It's a completion window. So it's not even a normal eclipse window. It's a completion window. And that means that there's shadow work to do, but it's slightly different from a normal. It's like, as my guides put it best, actually, I'm not even going to try. I'm just going to rip them off. My guide said, I know you're all really weary. I know you're all really tired. I know you've done loads of winter, which is all of that inner work, deep digging work. And this time you've got to dig one more time, and it is one final push. But this time it's like the mine's been dug. You're going back in, you're going into the inner to collect the diamonds that you've been digging for since December 2019. So it's a completion window. It's like finally it all starts to make sense. All of that winter challenge comes together and makes sense, and the diamonds, that is also why we dive deep and heal, finally come to the surface. So it's a very, very beautiful and special healing opportunity between now and the 10th, which is when the eclipse window ends. And I really advise you to see that time period between now and December 2019 and to think on it and to go, okay, what's the wisdom? What have I learned? What what was I healing? What was I developing as a wisdom? How can I dig deeper? What ceremonies do I need to do? What healings do I need to do to complete this? Because this is, you know, this isn't even by eclipse window standards, something that comes round very often. And so it's a really, really important start to the month. And eclipse windows always are a little bit up and down. So they're also very good at bringing up the things that you need to work on. They're purgy. And so in an eclipse window, you can often be faced with, and in an eclipse window like this, it's like you're faced with the challenges that you have been facing since December 2019, and an opportunity to do them differently, an opportunity to do them more consciously, to do them with, not out of your emotional body, but out of a more peaceful place inside of yourself, out of the healed body. On top of that, this eclipse window, because it is the sister of that eclipse window, it's a very, very crystallining window, which means that you get a load of things to create pressure. And that can actually be things like physical pressure. So sometimes symptoms of like headaches and stuff like that can be stronger in an eclipse window. Also heat, physical heat, and emotional pressure. And so there's a lot of pressure that is created in a crystallining eclipse window, and it's to help us become more diamond-like. So it's to help those wounds of the past, those memories of the past in the subconscious to crystalline, just like under heat and pressure, carbon in the earth becomes diamond. And for us as humans, what that means is we become more diamond in our truth. We become more soul-like in our truth. We become more sovereign in our truth. And, you know, my understanding is the first part of the eclipse window that we're just completing now, that was very much about reflection, about going, okay, this is happening, this has been going on, this relationship is completing, that decision is no longer right for my life. It was about that kind of reflection time. And what's happening on the 2nd is, as Venus enters Cancer, the sun sextiles with Chiron, and Chiron in an eclipse window is really important because Chiron is the wounded healer. And so Chiron really represents humans because we are the wounded healers on earth, and the sun represents truth. And when they're sextile, it's like they come into harmony. And so by the 2nd of June, things should start to really begin to harmonize and become clear. And it should be really clear to you what it is that you need to purge. It's like the whole journey should start to make more sense to you by the 2nd of June. You will understand it all. And there are some collective things that I can give you. So very, very much the solar plexus is huge, this eclipse window. So all things solar plexus, relationships, boundaries, empowerment, visibility. In a way, it's like we've been in the winter. We've been in the winter, and so our sun hasn't been as strong, you know, and as the spring is coming, it's like the sun is getting stronger. And so the solar plexus and everything to do with it is really, really important on a collective level. What I was tuning in about as well is obviously collectively we have really faced separation and loneliness. So they're really, really powerful wounds to be working on in this eclipse window. Is just, right, I'm getting the loneliness out of me. I'm getting the parts of me that want to pull back from tribe and community out of me. And then, of course, the journey for everybody has been intimate and personal as well. So what happens after the 2nd of June is the eclipse window is going to crescendo then, and that time after that kind of 2nd of June reflection becomes understanding. That is the time to heal. It's just go for it. If you get invited to a healing, if you get invited to a ceremony, if you're going to heal yourself, especially any type of shadow work, please do it. It's such an aligned cosmic time to be doing this inner work. It really, really, really is. And in a way, breaking out of the winter, you know how the spring kind of breaks out of the winter. It's like that, breaking ourselves open style of inner work that needs to be happening. And so it's really going for it. It's really going for it, guns are blazing. And then the eclipse, it's solar eclipse on the new moon. It's got and the eclipse is new moon solar eclipse at Gemini, and so it's about being daring and agile and seeing both sides and living on the edge. And in a way, it's got all of that vulnerability and new beginning that the spring has. And so that's when I really feel like we'll feel that, oh, we're out of the winter and into this spring consciousness and medicine. Eclipse is a really powerful time to be in ceremony, really, really powerful time to manifest. If you think of the lunar eclipse, that was about completing, that was about letting go, that was about grieving. And this is like, okay, what am I birthing into? Where am I going? What has all of this been for? And so it's a really, really powerful day. Definitely do something to mark it. Also, this eclipse window in general, my guides have said that it's an amazing time for us to move out of blueprint and into golden print. And so as human beings, we've been in the age of Pisces, we've been blueprint beings, which means that our compass, our center, the way that we navigate and manifest and everything it's been centered in our emotional body. And so we used to know if something was right for us because it made us happy, and then it would be wrong for us because it made us sad. And that is how we would navigate our way. And if you think of all of the manifesting teachings you've had, it would be about, oh, this you know, feel it, and if you feel it, you will manifest it. And what's happening as part of our ascension is we're moving out of blueprint and into being gold print beings, which means that all of that compass, all of that direction, all of that center of self drops into our sexual energy, our life force energy. So we become much more co-creative. We become much more tantric, so to speak. But it also means that we're not so emotionally led, and in fact, we're more life force led. So when something's out of alignment for you, it makes you feel really tired and drained and flat. And when something's in alignment for you, it makes you feel really alive and fountaining and overflowing with energy. And the same, you know, our manifesting almost has to become more about desiring, more sacral focused than it has been emotional focused, because that is becoming our creational compass as we become gold print beings. And if you choose an intention for this eclipse window, that's a really powerful one, to release the old blueprint way and come into the golden print way. Come in, because according to my guides, there's lots of kind of cosmic energies and downloading and support of this restructuring from blueprint to gold print, which isn't going to happen overnight. It's something that is happening over years. but this is just a really powerful time for it to happen. So it's a really nice thing to anchor your eclipse completion around, because certainly back in December 2019, we were much more blueprint than we are now. And collectively, we've done a lot to get out of the blueprint and into the golden print. And so, and the spring, you know, we've also got to start opening up to what this season of spring consciousness is about. The spring consciousness is very much about manifesting. It's very much about dreaming. And so on an eclipse, you know, the night of the eclipse, when there's this kind of super powerful gold print activation, it's time to start going, okay, I'm going to dream. Okay, I'm going to desire. Okay, I'm going to manifest. In a way, it's like what I keep tuning into is I'm like, okay, finally, I've accepted that the world isn't going back to how it was. And I actually have to let go of how it is, but go, do I want to manifest this world, or am I going to open up and manifest something better? And so it's really, and that spring energy is all about potential. It's about going beyond what you think is possible, going beyond what your blueprint is capable of, and coming into the capability of your golden print. And this is slightly echoed by the timing of the Venus gateway. So on the 11th is the second Venus gate of 8. And the Venus gate is when Venus and the moon appear together in the sky. And that's like a portal. This year, the Venus gates, according to my guide, are really powerful. They're these kind of portals of golden print activation. And, you know, this is happening as soon as the eclipse ends, the 11th. And this gate is particularly important because it is the one that each of the 8 gates are connected to chakras. And this one is connected to the sacral chakra. It's connected to, it's the gate of creativity. It's the gate of sensuality. And so, you know, the eclipse window is going, okay, close, close on that healing cycle. Where are you going? You're going into sensuality. You're going into pleasure. You're going into starting to create a life that is sacral, that is sacredly sacral, that is pleasurable. And so the Venus gate is another really powerful opportunity to manifest. It's about letting, what the guides were saying on the last Venus gate is they were saying, in terms of this blue gold print thing, because the moon kind of rules our emotions and Venus rules our sensuality, it's when our blue and gold print are most merged within us. And so this is the moment that we can kind of jump those paradigms within ourselves. This is the moment that we can really drop in to the golden print destiny and out of the blue destiny, because they're merged. So you can slide down, slide down into your sacral centers. And so it's a really, really, and because it's also the one that's connected to the sacral chakra, really powerful time to do any kind of ceremony that is sensual, that is about herbs and smells and candles and oils and, you know, engaging your senses, because that will help the activation of the golden print. So it's really, 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 really special. And then not, oh, it's just a golden box June. So not long after that, on June the 14th, and this is what all of the astrologers would say is the most important date of the month, if not, a lot of astrologers are saying it's the one of 3 most important astrological events in the year. So 3 times in this year, Saturn squares Uranus. And honestly, Google it. The astrologers are just like Saturn squares you 2021, Saturn square Uranus. That's what it's all about. Like if you want to know what 21 is about, it is about Saturn square Uranus, and it happened that, you know, that energy is influencing the whole year, those three squares. But it's actually, the second one is actually happening on June 14th. The first one was in February, and the next one is later in the year. Can't remember off the top of my head. And so, and you know, February really kind of marked a change, and Saturn and Uranus squaring each other is always going to create change, because, so some of you will have heard me say this, but the planets in our solar system, to me, they move the currents of our consciousness, like just like the moon controls the currents of the sea. Each planet controls a certain current of our consciousness, and that's why they have such a big influence on us, and such a big influence on global events, because it's like the moon pulling the waves of consciousness. And Saturn rules law, order, karma, the old tradition. And Uranus is like the planet of freedom and rebellion, sneezing, revolution, wildness. And so these are like polarities of consciousness. And literally, it's like when they square each other, it's like wake up call. It's like the old and new clash together like titans. And it's that clash that creates change. You know, you can't get these two giant systems crashing against each other and there not be kind of total change out of it. I read a really lovely thing that I wanted to read to you, just to give you a sense. And really, you know, this is right in the middle of the month. This is what June is all about, including the eclipse window and what comes after. June is all about going, okay, old or new. It's about the choice. And I will talk more about this. My guides have said, yes, we will channel about this at the end. The most important thing you need to know about June is it's about the choice. What reality are you going to choose? You're going to choose the old or the new? Because this Saturn-Uranus square is ruling it. And so the thing I wanted to share with you was, it said Uranus comes with the promise of freedom and enlightenment. But the path to freedom and enlightenment has to go through Saturn. So the law of free will is one of the most powerful laws in the universe. And in a month where this square is happening, we should definitely be engaging that law of free will. Even in our everyday choices, you know, I choose for this not to be my reality. If you're seeing something that you don't want it to be your reality, literally saying that is so powerful this month. I clear, cancel, and delete this, pulling your energy out of it. Amazing. Pull your energy out of anything that doesn't feel like a choice that you want to be making, because you've got Saturn and Uranus supporting you in that. And so we are beings of free will, but we're not, because there's all these other beings of free will all around us executing their free will. And so the only way we can become masters of our free will is if we master Saturn, if we master the old, if we master the karma, if we master the law and order of ourselves, our own law, our own divine law. And the bit I wanted to read is, it said, as Glenda, the good witch, said, you always had the power, my dear. You just had to learn it for yourself. There is, and that is what Saturn squaring Uranus is all about. It's like there's no shortcuts to this freedom and enlightenment. You've got to do the work, and Saturn is going to make you do the work. And really, Saturn is the last planet that we can see with our naked eye. And so it rules kind of the edges of time and the material world. And Uranus is the first planet that we cannot see without a telescope. And so Uranus is like, so these two clashing, it's like the material and the invisible, you know? It's like, are you going to choose the way of intuition and trust and look beyond the material to get to master it and to ultimately transcend it? And these clashes almost help us to do it. It's almost like, my guys are showing me, it's like, you know, those games where the balls get pinged around. It's like we're being pinged around between Saturn and Uranus, and that's so we can meet them both and then make our choice, you know, and that's happening in 2021, you know, it's happening in 2021 in a massive way. But just remember that the power is your choice. And what is helping it all is Chiron, because Chiron is orbiting between Saturn and Uranus. And so Chiron is the bridge between these two worlds, this world of freedom and enlightenment, and this world of law, order, and karma. And what does that, you know, the sky, I love astrology because it just tells us everything that we need to know if you look at it like a map. And basically this bit of the map is saying, okay, the key is your inner work. The key is your wounded healer work. The key is what you do in this eclipse window, and how you then let what your inner does become action, become new thoughts, new words, and so your inner healing, your wounded healer work, your shadow work is how we're going to bridge these two. It's written in the stars. And so it's very, 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 very special time. I would, in a way, I think it's really important to do the big, massive healing in the eclipse window. And then it feels like there needs to be a continued self-empowering or self-inquiry, empowering, manifesting journey over this amazing time between the end of the eclipse window, this amazing like Saturn Uranus make your choice moment, and then the solstice. So the solstice is another kind of time where everything gets really exciting cosmically. And in a way, when I tune into the month, it feels like it's in 3 parts. So it's like the first part is the winter, and then the second part is that breaking open moment, and then the final part is this spring of our consciousness in the next stage of our ascension. And what my guides just said to me as I was saying that is they reminded me of one of their little cosmic catchphrases that they like to give, which is that decision is the moment that intention becomes action. And so in a way, it's like the first bit is the intention bit. The second bit is the decision. And the last bit of the month is the action. And what we have really is, it's beautiful. So we have on the 20th, Jupiter goes into retrograde, and Jupiter is the planet that is about our path and our expansion and our abundance. It's like the lucky planet, the amazing planet. And, you know, on the 20th, the day before the solstice, it goes retrograde. And so when it goes retrograde, what it means is it appears as if it's moving in the opposite direction from normal in our sky. What it means for consciousness is it's like whatever that planet does outwardly, it starts to do inwardly. And my feeling is it's retrograde until October 18th. And my feeling is that, and a lot of people I'm speaking to are saying this, I'm sure some of you are saying this, please do say if you are, that they're done. How many of us are in the end of that winter like we're done? We're complete. We're fed up. We're done. We're done with what we're doing. It doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel aligned. Things feel like they need to change. And my feeling is this Jupiter retrograde is about us really going inwards with our paths and going, okay, beginning of spring. What do we actually want? What, if we're done, that's great. Let's stop looking at what we're done with. What is it that we want next? What is going to make us feel expanded on the inside? Remember that sexual energy thing. What is going to make us feel really, really alive? What is going to activate the golden prince? So it feels like a time for redreaming with the medicines of spring, your path, for rebirthing your path, for getting re-expanded and reconnected on the inside. And my guides are like, and it's going to be different. It's going to be different. This is what they're showing me, is it's like the first time the gold print is going to be kind of stronger than the blueprint. And so things that felt meaningful to you in the blueprint won't. And they'll feel flat, and there will be new things. You've got to give space and time. It's not good to have too many plans, or at least not too many set plans, because it feels, when I tune into this retrograde, as like quite a morphic time where it's like, okay, what do I actually, what's going to make me feel juicy? What's going to make me feel happy? And then the next day, so the next day, just before the longest day of the year, if you're in the northern hemisphere, shortest day. If you're in the southern, the solstice is all about kind of potential. Is every year it's about potential. It's about the potential of the light and the dark. It's about the greatest possible potential. And this year it's on the 21st. Some years it's the exact solstice is on the 20th or the 22nd. This year it's on the 21st. It's obviously 2021. And my guides have spoken quite a lot about 21. They're like, 21st year, 21st century. What happens when you're 21? You become an adult. So they're very like, this is the time where humanity starts to step out of its teenage years, out of its teenagehood, where it's just running around partying and graffitiing and trashing the place. And it actually comes into a new level of responsibility. And with Jupiter retrograde happening just before, that's what it feels like. It's like, okay, path responsibility, where am I putting my energy? One of the things that might be coming up for you because of this kind of like moment of responsibility. And again, amazing time to manifest, amazing time to be in ceremony. Please be in ceremony on the solstice. There's such powerful cosmic ascension on the solstice every year. And this year, I have no doubt, because of everything that's going on in the sky this month, that it's going to be super amazing. And if you're in ceremony, you'll be in a state of oneness, which means you will be able to receive more of all of the good that is going to be pouring in from all of our star brothers and sisters on the 21st. And so one of the things that might be coming up a lot for you is the energy of blame, particularly in this eclipse window, because blame is kind of like not being responsible. And if you think the human collective is in states of blame at the moment, and one of the most powerful things you can do leading up to the solstice is every time you notice yourself blaming, how you take energetic responsibility is call your energy back to yourself. just don't even go into the story of the blame. Just pull your energy out of the thing you're blaming. Because when we send our energy to something, we create attachment to that thing, and then we can't actually let it go. And when you pull your energy out of it, you're not attached to it and you can let it go. And also you're coming into energetic responsibility. And for the solstice, you want to have all your energy in you, or as much as possible. So really invite you, especially any paradigm world stuff that you do not want to be manifesting, use this month to pull your energy out of it. You do your shadow work to pull your energy out of it. Do ceremony to pull your energy out of it, and just practice actively pulling your energy out of it. Astrologically, on the solstice, there's this lovely Venus trine with Neptune. And so, you know, those two are very dreamy, very watery, very lovey and spiritual and ethereal. And really, if the sky says anything on the solstice, which really for me marks that moment of like, okay, spring is here. Spring inside ourselves is here. The leap forward, the potential, the new dream, the what if I can, breakout energy. What the sky says is let your heart lead the way. And in spring, you know, it's the energy of the maiden. You have to let your heart lead the way. We don't know the way, you know, we've left Saturn. we don't have that law and order. We have to let our hearts lead the way. And then the day after the solstice is the end of Mercury retrograde. And Mercury retrograde is all about communication, really. So there's loads of technical travel, communication breakdown things that happen in Mercury retrograde, because it's about communicating inwards. And so those 3 days before Mercury retrograde ends, with Jupiter going into retrograde and then the solstice, it's like that, those 3 days connect in, just connect in, tune in with yourself, be with yourself, honor yourself, go deep into yourself, because with those alignments you will hear your heart more clearly than you might have done since December 2019. And so this is the moment, as Mercury comes out of retrograde on the 22nd, that there should finally be clarity. A bit like how, if you think of June, it's like the chick cracking the egg shell and finally it's out of the egg and it's like, oh, I'm going to go over there. That's kind of what there is the potential for this month if we work with everything in it. And then what happens on the 23rd is Venus is opposite Pluto, and Venus, so can you see how much Venus is in this month? How much Chiron and how much Venus? It's like love yourself into your healing. Love, follow your heart, follow your heart, follow your heart. Rebirth into your heart. So Venus, planet of love, is opposite Pluto, planet of death and rebirth. And really what that is about is boundaries. So if you imagine all of this shadow work, creating space, activating the gold print, listening to the heart, when we expand in that way, we have to have better boundaries. All of that energy, that sacred, sexual, beautiful dream energy has to be held. You know, love is about being held, being supported. And so really, if there's things in your life that aren't right, those boundaries are going to come up strong around the 23rd, because the spring needs its boundaries. You know, the spring needs to feel believed in and supported and held. And then that leads perfectly, you know, you could maybe just go from 20th to 24th, which is the full moon, and just do a series of ceremonies, of healings, of beautiful prayers to your path and the universe and life, because on the 24th is the full moon, and it's full moon in Capricorn. It's very, very, it's got this quite fiery energy. It's like all of that clarity. Best time of the month to manifest is that full moon, because it's like by then you're going to be like I said, out of the egg, going, oh, I'm going over here, right? I'm going to manifest with these beautiful, healthy, amazing boundaries around me. And then what happens on the 25th? So do you see what I mean? It's like bang, 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 bang this month. It's amazing. On the 25th, Neptune stations retrograde until the 1st of December. And Neptune really is about dreaming. So Neptune's about kind of the illusions and the dreams and the dream state. And it can be, when it's going direct, a bit rose-tinted glasses. When it goes retrograde, it's a bit more like realistic, but in terms of you, it's like clarity comes from the self. I feel like what's going to happen after all of this golden energy of June with that Neptune retrograde is the illusions crack. You know, the things that we've been buying into that aren't aligned for us crack. The illusions on a collective level are going to crack. It's like that inner cracking then ripples out on this Neptune retrograde. And really, if there's anything kind of for the end of the month, the mantra is the clarity comes from the self. Everything about the golden print, the spring, you know, the solstice, the responsibility, everything is coming towards clarity comes from the self. Drop into yourself. I'm going to give you a meditation practice at the end of this so that you can drop into yourself. But that is June. How gorgeous and golden and kind of ethereal and epic is June. Don't you just love it? I love it. I'd love to hear what you all think of June. So, like I said, we will do a little bit of channeling and, you know, meditations to get clarity of self and anything that the guides want us to know. If you would like to do some shadow work in the eclipse window, the very special eclipse window, then Starlight has a course called Overflowing with Love. That is the course that we first did in December 2019. It's a really beautiful, amazing course. It's Temple Alchemy, which is the best healing for shadow work that I personally know of. And it's about crystallining all of your chakric centers, so making them more diamond-like and crystallining them into the 7 sacred states of self-love, which are beautiful states. They're like bliss and potential and expression and grace and worthiness, and really getting out all that is not that stuff, recycling all that is not that stuff through this incredible chakric temple alchemy process that is happening in the eclipse window. It's a crystallining process. It's a completion process. It's a diamond finding process. And on top of that, the guides are giving all of this extra stuff to help the drop down into the golden print. So lots of stuff about kind of manifesting out of the winter healing journey that you have been on and activating the golden print. And so it's a really, really amazing course. It has got limited places because with shadow work, it's got to happen in love. It's got to happen held. And so we have space holders and lots of Q&A style time with me and the guide so that everybody really gets to their diamonds. And so there are limited spaces. It starts on the 2nd, and I didn't even know about the astrology on the 2nd, and the guides are doing a special. They're so good. They're doing a special activation manifestation thing as part of the course on the 14th, which is the day of the Saturn square Uranus. And again, I didn't even know that when they were doing the timetable, so I am delighted with the divine timing. So that's the link. I've put it in the chat box to Overflowing with Love, so you can just click on it and copy and paste it, put it in another tab. You can also go to our website. So the other thing, so in true spring style, Starlight will do something for the solstice. I don't know what we'll do. We might do stuff in Brighton where I am locally. Well, no, we definitely will. But I might do some kind of online-y for those 4 or 5 day thing as well. So you might want to join our mailing list to find out about that, because I'm being very spring and very present. But the other thing that is definitely happening this month is the Sacral Manifesting workshop on the Venus Gate. Now, the last one. So these manifesting workshops, they're one-offs, or you can buy them all, and you can buy the replay of the last one if you want it. The last one was the first one, and it was for the gate of the root chakra. And honestly, it's not a healing. These workshops are like transmissions where the guides just download golden print manifesting consciousness and tools into you. The first one was on patience, and it has changed me. You know, as someone that used to be really like busy and workaholic, like the consciousness and the teachings that they gave, they've just changed the way that I want to do everything. What they were saying about patience, which was the theme of that one, is they were like, it's how manifesting with patience is how the most beautiful version of something can arrive. And so it's how you create beauty with your sexual energy, because patience is a flow of your sexual energy. And it's just, yeah, like totally diverted me. It moved me into the spring. And the next one is on the sacral ancient creatrix gift of longing, which is how we literally magnetically pull something into form in our lives. And so that's happening. I'm going to be honest, I really recommend both, actually. Doing shadow work and crystallining golden print work with Overflowing with Love, which ultimately does what it says on the tin. It's about bringing you into a state of vibrating an overflow of love, so that reflects into your life. So it's the perfect medicine for the loneliness wound. And then getting this new manifesting download consciousness, really, really powerful things to do on this very, very sacred month. So of course, your hearts will know, your hearts will be called, you will feel if it is right for you to do either or both of those things. We would love to have you if you are called. Overflowing with Love starts on the 2nd, and the Venus Gate is on the 11th. And like I said, there will be an offering from Starlight from the solstice. I'm just, being very patient about what is coming. And I'm going to pull a card of the month for us from my lovely new cards from Dartmoor. Very magical card. Ooh, Raven. I don't know these cards, so I'm going to have to read. And so, what does the Raven want us to know? Lead the way. This card represents leadership and foraging a path out ahead. Raven brings the ability to see over great distances or to see future possibilities, as well as the strength to follow through. But Raven's path is a solitary one. There's a risk of becoming aloof and unapproachable. The honeybee on the raven's head reminds us of the need to maintain a connection to others. That's so perfect. Like, the loneliness wound. Spring is a massive leadership energy, you know, it's a massive energy of like actually breaking out of this, blossoming into this, breaking free of this. It's amazing. And so, yeah, these are our wisdoms to be taking into the month. And if you guys have any questions or anything, please do ask them. For now, let's close our eyes. And just allow ourselves to absorb all of the guidance and wisdom and insight about Magic Month of June. Maybe to honor that breaking out energy. Inviting in this moment a restoring of that I'm done energy. And rather than seeing it as I'm finished, I'm done. See it as I'm breaking out. I'm breaking free. I'm moving towards the sun. And taking a moment as well to honor the wisdom of this winter season. It's been 18 months of really submerging into all that is winter. And just gathering into yourself what you want to take with you. And noticing maybe where you want to pull your energy out of something. Maybe something that has been a big personal or collective theme that you no longer want to keep lit. Dearest ones, we say to you that your life force energy is electric magnetic energy. And this means that it does two things creatively. That which you put your attention on will magnetically orbit around you. And will also be illuminated. And therefore part of the truth of your physical reality. And sometimes these things that are orbiting and lit up as truth, as something you can see with your naked eye, as a truth. For that which the sun lights is that which is your truth. Sometimes these are receiving energy not from your consciousness, but from your subconscious. And this is why these gateway eclipse windows are opportunities to notice what your subconscious is magnetically attracting and illuminating, to understand why. And then to consciously, because you understand why, pull your energy, your life force out of those creations. An eclipse window in creational terms is similar to that of the menstrual bleed. It is an opportunity for an old cycle of creation to release from the self. And we say that you can, of course, do this with ceremony and healing. But because the forces of Saturn and Uranus are so mighty this month, you can also do this by choosing, understanding that every choice this month, choice of what you read, choice of what you talk about, choice of what you think about, is either a choice of Saturn or a choice of Uranus. And therefore, if you notice yourself choosing one, the law of polarity means that the other choice is also available. And we say to you all that in many ways this month is a month of making new choices. In many ways, the most powerful thing you can do is make a different choice. And the choice is not always freedom and enlightenment. For example, if there is a part of your life that feels chaotic and unstructured, it would be powerful to make the Saturn choice in that case. changing the choice as often as you can will accelerate your ascension process. What will bring in the spring is choosing what is new for you. And as our channel has already said, when you notice yourself in blame, which gives the power of your choice away to others' choices, when you notice yourself in blame, come into responsibility. By pulling your energy back, by taking the light and the magnetic power out of that which you are blaming, by taking energetic responsibility. What responsibility does is activate the consciousness of the sixth sun, which is the sun that was brought in by the recent eclipse that you are now in the window of. You will feel this sun in your aliveness, in your that is the one that feels most loving. And in this age of responsibility, the one that creates love, that creates community. For community is what produces human love. And so know that with these dreaming moments of your path, it is most aligned to dream of a path that in some way creates more human love, that has foundations of community. Within it, the new world that is so often spoken of and so often called Aquaria. Its foundation is community. And we invite you, every manifesting opportunity that you have, to include community. For as has been said, you have been collectively purging the wound of loneliness. And after the purification purging of the winter, after space is made, which is what healing is for, the healing completes by a new energy coming in. by a new dream coming in. Manifesting is most powerful after healing because the most space has been created after healing. And so this is a month of completing and manifesting. Know that because there is so much golden print activation energy pouring down into the human collective consciousness this month, that you are all hyper creative. And so be conscious of where you put your energy, of what you choose to magnetically have orbiting you, and what you choose to be electrically lighting as the truth of your reality. Understand that making conscious choice is not spiritual bypassing. It is making conscious choice. Spiritual bypassing is unconscious choice. And we will say that at this time of your ascension, it is not possible for you to spiritually bypass, for what needs to be healed in the karmic consciousness of humanity cannot be ignored. And what you need to heal will be shown to you. The digging is done. You do not need to search. Now you need to choose. What you are going to recycle and what you are going to keep, and what you are going to receive as new. And these choices happen with where and when you put your attention. When you put your attention on that which you are healing, it will be recycled. When you put your attention on that which you are keeping, it will be crystalline. And when you put your attention on that which you are receiving as new, it will arrive. Be in the glorious responsibility of this co-creational gift of your attention. And finally, the guides are saying that in terms of connecting to yourself, it is about allowing a full breath and doing what we did at the beginning, which is connecting to the space and feeling that buzz of aliveness or life as you within that space. And then opening your heart to the neutrino light that is beaming through the planet at this time, which is a bit like a microwave light. So it was explained to me by a friend. It's a microwave light, so it kind of heats from the inside or illuminates from the inside, and that's happening to the planet, but it's also happening to that beingness within us. And just by bringing our attention to it, we feel the spaces of the self lighting up, the clarity of the self activating. And so this is a practice that you can meditate on and play with. You can, of course, listen to the beginning of Magic Month if you want to. Keeping or closing your eyes, keeping them closed if they're already closed. Feeling the violet flame coming through. Transmuting all energy that does not serve or belong into love and light if it is ready to be transmuted. Feeling a golden rain shower of light coming down, taking any energy that is meant to go to Gaia as an offering to Gaia. And a big beam of source light coming in, taking any energy that is meant to go somewhere else, wherever it is in the highest good for it to go as an offering to the stars, and sending your love and gratitude to each other, and the tribe of the Ka, and the star brothers and sisters that have been channeling with us this evening, sending our love and gratitude to all minerals, all animals, all plants, all of humankind, all of fire, all of earth, all of air, all of water, all of love, all of light, all of matter, all of mystery. All of our beautiful, amazing universe, and all of the beauty that is happening now to every part of yourself, to these incredible cosmic alignments of June. Just allowing yourself to soften and breathe and be and bask in what resonated for you from this magic month. Magic month of July. We're getting through this year quick. We'll be at the next, probably on the 1st of July or around that time. And like I said, sign up to Starlight's newsletter if you want to know any solstice offerings, things like that. If you're called to overflowing with love, really, if you've had a big journey, especially a big healing journey, yeah, I really feel like it's such a special completion. So we'd love to have you on it. And of course, at the Venus Gate, if it calls you. So much love and light and magic and blessings and solstice power to you all. Mwah.